Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to do something kind of fun and exciting, at least for me anyway. So it was about a month or so ago, I made a video about really small miniature bonsai and kind of explained why I like bonsai because I like miniatures and kind of showed a little miniature room that I'd made. And this tree here was one that I showed in the video, and I had it sitting on miniature tables and things, and it just, in this scene, just with my hand as a reference, it looks really small, and it is a pretty small tree. But in the miniature scene, and I'll try to show you some clips up in the corner, it really looked out of proportion because the scene was so small. So I was looking to try to do something even smaller than these that would be in proportion with the miniature room. So, and I was reading through the comments, and somebody left a comment about a thimble challenge or something that was out there. I saw a couple videos, didn't see a whole lot going on with it, but that got me thinking is to, explore some smaller vessels or pots or whatever. So I came up with a couple different ideas. Um, One, I ordered these miniature terracotta pots from Amazon, and they're real terracotta, but they're just really tiny. And you can see with my fingers how small they are. But just to kind of give you a reference, here is an actual metal thimble that I painted brown, and I'll show you kind of how I drilled the holes and painted them here in a little bit. I took some footage of that. And then, so with those, but they're, a little more vertical. And I was thinking, what else could I use? And then I just kind of started brainstorming and found some lids, little plastic lids. And if you look at them close, they've got some neat little textures. This is like a little drum pot. But again, like I said, it's just a lid off of something. I don't even know what it came off of, but I drilled a few holes in the bottom of that and painted it brown. I used and I'll show it in the video here in a little bit, but I used a matte brown paint to kind of give it a unglazed bonsai pot appearance. And then here is another lid that I found, again, painted it and drilled some holes in it. But as you can see, the size reference, like here is a true thimble that goes on your finger, when you're sewing. But these small terracotta pots actually fit inside that thimble. So they're really tiny and super small. So, but like I said, I drilled some holes in them and I painted one of the terracotta pots brown here. It started out like that, but here I'll go ahead and show you kind of how I drilled the holes and painted them. But just to show you the drill bits I use, it's just a cheap set, cobalt tipped, because I was worried about getting through this metal thimble. The plastic and terracotta, I knew a drill bit would go through those, but I used these and used the smallest one in the set. It came in a full set. As you can see, it's got assorted sizes, but I used the smallest one and drilled through there. As you can see in the video, it went right through it like butter, just real smooth and slick. So let me show you some of that footage now. Okay, so hopefully that gave you a little bit of idea on how I drilled the holes and everything like that. So then, you know, right after I made that other video about miniatures, I cut a couple small cuttings off of one of my Lilliput Portulacaria afras. And if you don't know, the Lilliput just has a lot smaller leaves than a normal Portulacaria. And like I said, it's been about a month ago. I dropped these in these little containers that I've got that I grow my small cuttings in. And you can see this one went in about a week before this one. So you can see the roots. Just leave it in the water there so you can kind of see the, if I can get in any closer or not, I will. But you can see they've started to branch out and got some fine secondary roots. This one is still working on the secondary roots. It's got a few, but it's still got to go for another week or so before I get enough roots on that. So, and I think this one would probably do better in maybe one of these flat pots, but I think today, at least to start out with, I think I'm going to do the true thimble first. I'll save these little terracotta guys for later. I'll see how this goes in the thimble and see if I can keep it alive and all that good stuff. But so to start with, I think we'll just use the thimble. So let me set some of these aside here. So let me go ahead and get my soil ready. And what I'm going to use for soil is I went ahead and poured some out in this little container. When I mix my soil, this one came from when I was mixing lava rock and akadama. And as you can see, it's really, really small grain. See if I can zoom in here on some of these, but you can see the grains are really small. And this is just black lava and akadama. This is just a bit larger than the fines that I filter out, the dusty stuff. So I use like a window screen size, and that's how I end up with these small particles here. So that's what I'm going to use for soil, because I think once I get it down in here, you know, I'll just go ahead and scoop some up so you can see what it looks like before I get something planted. But it still gives me, you know, enough compaction in there, but still enough airflow for root development. So that's the soil I'm going to use. So we'll wait on that. I'm going to try my best to keep my hands out of the way, but when you're working this tiny, we'll see how it goes. So I think what I'm going to do first is just go ahead and trim off some of these roots. It's kind of maybe there to start with. And trying to maneuver them to kind of spread them out a little bit. Again, it's a little hard, so I apologize for my hands being in the way, but once I get it done, I'll kind of show you. Almost need a little stick or something. I think I might have a bamboo skewer, but I think this will work. So just about as long as the pot. I could probably take a little bit more off. I think we'll try that. I think that'll work. So let's go ahead and get some soil in there. Let's drop a little bit in, probably maybe a quarter to a third of the way up, since my roots are a little longer for this pot. Maybe just another pinch for like seasoning your favorite dish, you know, a little pinch of salt and pepper. So we'll go ahead and now this is going to be the tricky part on how to get the soil in here and hold on to the tree. So if you can call this a tree, but I'm going to, just a really small one. I'm going to go ahead and get this held in position. And I'll just use this spoon here and try to dump some of the soil in and keeping the tree held upright. So I think that might have done it there. Try to pack it in the best I can here. Just I don't really have tools that work this small, but yeah, I think that'll probably work. So there you have it. There's a really tiny, really small bonsai and a thimble. This is an experiment, of course, so we'll see how it goes. And as far as watering this guy, and since I water propagated it, the roots are already wet and used to being wet, so when I water propagate, I keep them a little wetter than normal. But here's how I'm going to water it. I've just got these squirt bottles here with the really pointed nozzle on them, and this is how I water some of my smaller trees, even these here, these ones that seem like giants now. I just kind of, you can really position the water right where you want it. So that's what I'm going to use for this little guy here. So we'll see how this works. It's going to take just a few drops. See the dust coming off of it, just like a full-size one. So that's good. There we go. And I see it coming out of the bottom already, so that's another good sign that we've got some good drainage. So what I'll probably do is sit this in a really, I'll find a small tray, but I'll probably layer the tray with some of this small gravel or soil mixture here, light gravel, so it'll sit up above the bottom of the pot and drain. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated on this, and then also when this one over here is ready, I'll bring you along on potting that one up, because it'll be interesting to see how it looks in one of these flatter pots. I may have to wire it in so it'll stand up, or put some little rocks in there or something. We'll see how it goes, but I think I'm pretty happy with the way this one looks. Yeah, we'll see if we can keep it alive, and like I said, I'll keep you guys updated. But let me show you kind of what it looks like in the miniature room setup now. Okay, so here's the room. If you remember from my last video, I'll give you a quick look at it. You can kind of see it's got a writing desk over there, and then a kind of a fold down desk here, a bunch of little writing utensils and all that stuff. But anyway, let's just see what the tree looks like with the desk. So we could sit it right up there, and it looks much better, more to scale for the size of the room. So that's what I was looking for. So I think with that, we'll end the video. And the stuff that I mentioned, the drill bits, you know, if you want to check those out, I'll put a link down below. If you're drilling metal or anything, those work really well. And then these little pots, I'll link those. And the thimble, you know, you can get those anywhere, but I'll throw a link in for those too. But I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, so when I give updates and when I plant the other one, you can make sure to see that. So with that, we'll catch you later, and thanks for watching the video.